Okay, it is almost 9 o'clock on April 30th, and I just realized with a wave of absolute horror that if I don't record these replay reviews tonight, everything's getting reset and I won't be able to record them as I promised. So I am recording these tonight. They will be up on the channel by end of day Saturday at the latest. But moving on. Ragnarok gave me a different character this month instead of his Ken. We're going to be looking at his modern Chun, which, from what I understand, Chun is quite solid on Modern, and they actually buffed her on Modern by giving her access to stance and additional follow-ups. I do not personally play this character, but given that we're in Platinum here, I'm going to focus more on fundamental decision-making, risk-reward, resource management, anti-airs, optimizing your punishes, those kinds of things. Even if I don't know the specific optimal punishes or the specific combos in certain situations, going to try to approach it from that perspective to be as helpful as possible. So for starters, I'm just going to watch the first match in its entirety without commenting, and then I'll go back through it and see what I can find.
Gotta do this. Come on.
I'm not gonna lose.
Round one. Fight. Hadouken! Let's get it! Hadouken! Let's get it! Get right! That's right! Round two. Fight! Try and stop!
Not good enough. Now you understand. Don't underestimate me.
Final round. Fight!
You need training.
Pay attention! Chun-Li wins!
Okay, so the things that stand out to me on the positive side immediately are that you seem very comfortable doing combos with this character. I don't really see any drops. I see you immediately reacting to opportunities with full combos. You had a couple different enders for the combo with the OD spinning bird kick, and overall you just look more comfortable piloting this character than you were piloting your Ken, honestly. I don't know if you have more experience with this character or if it just clicked for you better, but you seem very confident on the like B&B combo side of things. You also successfully cashed out into the kill at the end there, or one of the things I had pointed out in your previous replays was that you didn't always take advantage of the opportunity to cash out and end the round, so that was fantastic. And you were a lot more aggressive with your corner pressure instead of just kind of hanging back or jumping at them, which is all really, really good. The things that stood out to me as main areas to improve are spacing, meter management, and method of approach, and I'm going to go through all of those.
Gotta do this. Come on. Round one. Fight. Hadouken!
So at round start, you walk back, but I see a lot of Chun-Li's do that. Generally, I'm going to be like, you don't want to walk back at round start, but she's a charge character, so you're walking back to charge the fireball to kind of test how they're going to react to the fireball. That's okay. But you then put yourself in a situation here after the fireball, where you're in kind of an ideal range to either poke with one of your normals or back up a tiny bit so that one of his normals will whiff and you can whiff punish him. And instead, you get uncomfortable, which is very normal. This is an uncomfortable range, even though it is the ideal range to play Street Fighter at, is at the tip of your normals, because that also means you're probably in range of some of their normals, and that's nerve-wracking. The main way to avert how terrifying this is to micro-walk and block back and forth instead of just walking back and forth, so you're not always open to getting clipped low. Because this is the range you want to be at, is kind of just barely close enough to threaten. But you get uncomfortable and you jump at him instead. The random jump in is something that happens a lot throughout the set. I think that's still probably your biggest I'm uncomfortable habit, is just jumping, and it doesn't get you anything here. And then you start backing up into fireball again. Your general flowchart on both Ken and Chun that I've seen you play now is backing up and throwing a fireball. And a fireball is good as a long-range poke, but it's to provoke a reaction from them, to get them to jump so that you can anti-air them. And it doesn't feel like you're looking to provoke a specific reaction with a fireball. It feels like you're just afraid to be close to him. And you don't need to play scared. Either be intentional with the fireball or stop walking back. Get back into that range where you're close enough to clip him. Again with the jump in, where you had actually walked into a really good range here. Looks so funny in slow-mo. Like right here, you are definitely close enough or nearly close enough. I don't totally know the ranges of Chun's normals to poke him, to get him to be forced to respond. Throw out a button and see what he does. After he blocks a button, does he hit a button back? Does he back up? Does he start jumping? Does he try to perfect parry? Right now, you don't know what he does when you try to hit him with a button because you haven't tried to hit him. You've only tried to jump at him. And this is where you want to be, but instead you jump. And then you got the hit from the jump in, you got lucky, but you see it didn't convert to anything. That hop off the head, I don't know if there is a way to convert that to anything. I think it would have had to have been a cross up for it to convert into something, but it just goes to show that this is not a primary method of approach for Chun. You really only want to jump if you're hard reading that he's going to do a fireball that's punishable, and that you're reading that based on the habits he's demonstrated already. Chun is a very grounded character. You don't want to be in the air all the time unless you're continuing a combo up there. Like, I know she has a bunch of juggle and safe jump stuff in the corner, but just the raw jump in thing, I don't think is going to be your best method of approach. Okay, you got frame trapped, you got put in the corner. There you got caught not blocking low. That's what I was talking about earlier, about how when you're on defense, you want to make sure you're crouch blocking as much as possible so your toes don't get clipped. There you got clipped low again. He dropped his combo, and you have an opportunity to punish here, which you did, which is awesome. However, if you have an opportunity to punish, and they're close to the corner like that, basically the best thing you can do here is just back throw him. If you aren't going to do a side switch combo. I don't know what side switch combos, if any, Chun has, but if you're not going to do a side switch combo, just back throw him, because the positional advantage of putting him in the corner and you getting out of the corner is more valuable than the damage this combo is going to do. You also didn't finish your combo into a knockdown, and then he kind of got his momentum going again. So you didn't commit. You had to commit. He's got another weird combo drop there. And here, again, you went for that one button into lightning kicks, which is good as a poke. I imagine it's good on block as well, but it doesn't get you a knockdown. If you have the opportunity to do a combo, 99% of the time you want that combo to knock them down so you can take your Oki and make them guess what you're going to do on their wake up. Are you going to strike them? Are you going to throw them? Are you going to shimmy them? what are you going to do? Because otherwise, he just has the opportunity to take his turn back and you're still in the corner. You got lucky here that he tried to parry and you back threw him, but you should have just back thrown him in the first place when you had the punish opportunity instead of doing a combo that didn't get you a knockdown. He's in burnout here, so this is a really good situation for you, but he does have a bar of super and you are on a pixel of life. So your priority here needs to be not doing anything that can be interrupted. Generally, what you want to be doing here is frame trap stuff, and your frame trap stuff is going to look different against burnout than it does normally because you are an additional +4 frames of advantage against a character who is burned out. I don't know what Chun's burnout frame traps are, but what proceeds to happen here is that you do something that leaves a gap, and he's just mashing, which a lot of people will do if you only have a pixel of life. So I would say either go with frame trap stuff, or back up and wait to see what he's gonna do. If you had just backed up here and stood like about under the timer, then if he jumped, you could have anti-aired him. If he moved forward, you could have hit him. And if he just random supered, you'd block it and then kill him for it. So there's no reason to necessarily be in his face, but if you want to be in his face, then you need to keep it tight, and you didn't. That was a fantastic combo. Like straight into knockdown, use some of your resources because you had full bar. You're in a position to take Oki now. That was great. But you then did something that was, let me see here. +1. Okay, you're initially +1. Is that a sweep? I'm looking at your inputs. It was a sweep. Don't do random sweeps. Sweeps are some of the most negative on block buttons in the game. So you gave him +23 frames of advantage. He's gonna interrupt. He could interrupt with even a really big button here because you're so negative.
That's right. Round 2. Fight. Try and stop.
Okay, this is another great opportunity to back throw him because you're so close to the corner. And you did. So I feel like you learned from the first round that you needed to take more advantage of the corner positioning opportunity, which is really, really good. I'm just double checking if you'd requested specific feedback on anything before I keep going here. I forgot to check if you had asked for anything specific. There we go. No, nothing specific. All right, so I can just keep going. So you threw him in the corner. That's great. Now you're doing combos into knockdown, not just combos that do damage, which is great. That's the same combo you did earlier. It seems like you have that B and B down pat, which is really, really great. The thing that stands out to me, however, is that it seems like all of your lead to knockdown combos and your B and Bs with Chun spend at least 2 bars on an OD spinning bird kick in the middle. And you want to have at least one bread and butter combo that doesn't spend any resources. Because otherwise, if you combo him twice with this same combo, you now only have 2 bars of drive. Even though you're the one at advantage, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage by continuing to spend. So the combo is good, and your execution of it is great, but you want to have a meterless option as well. Here, spending the bar was okay, because you still had 6 bars, but as the round goes on, you continue to spend bar a little bit more recklessly. You're also doing much, much better going for meaties on his wake up, instead of just standing there waiting to see what he does, which is awesome. I am not sure if that button you just used would have been positive or negative on block, so I'm going to switch to Ken real quick and just see that. Okay. It's going really fast. It looks like it's probably safe on block, but it doesn't give you any like plus frames or anything. So continuing to press after this is risky because you aren't actually plus. On block, that is. Here it hit, so you went into your combo. Was that all a combo? Let me see. It wasn't. Okay, those first 2 hits did not combo. You went for your starter, which is this 2-hitter, which appears to be the first hit of your heavy auto combo, but you didn't actually link it into anything. So if he hadn't pressed again, or if he hadn't been standing up, you did not get a knockdown off of that situation. You want a meaty with buttons that are hit confirmable, ideally where you can also tell if it was counter hit or punish counter, so you know how big a combo you can get, like what I've shown with Ken in previous replays on how his stand heavy punch converts differently on counter hit or punish counter. But you want to know if this button hits on his wake up, I can convert into a combo that knocks down. And you didn't actually convert into a knockdown combo here. You got lucky with, it looks like, a heavy button into... You did get a knockdown. Like, once you actually got into a combo, you got a knockdown and it was solid, but it wasn't off of the meaty. And if you look at your bar now, you again needed to spend 2 bars in the middle of that combo. So now he still has full resources and he almost has level 3, which will be critical art for him at this point. And you've put yourself under 3 bars of drive. So meter management here, I think, would be really important. You whiffed your throw, he jumped. That's ideally, after you see your throw missed, you still have time to respond with a DP here. Or at least an air-to-air or a crouch heavy punch or something. Don't let people get away with just jumping your throw and then landing for free, because you can still knock them down. There's your old habit of jumping when you're nervous. There was no reason to jump at him when he's in the corner. And the result is that you get hit and you get put in the corner. So that's pretty much the worst thing that could have happened to you. And that could have been avoided by just staying calm and not jumping. Didn't quite convert into a combo that would have killed there. It seems like you end a lot of your combos with the lightning kicks, and then you don't actually know how to move it into a knockdown. So I would do a little more research on full Chun combos that lead to knockdowns, and keep the lightning legs as more of a poke. So now he's on a pixel here. You don't really have to commit at all, because if he makes one mistake, any mistake, he dies, and you have level 3 and a full bar of health. You put yourself in a very bad drive situation, but in terms of resources, you're doing fine. So I would just wait for your opportunity and not push it. You got hit by DI, it happens. Ball splat combo. You try to jump out of the corner. Jumping out of the corner isn't always bad, but when they're standing where he's standing right now, where he's like right under the timer, he is at the perfect spacing to anti-air you after you jump. If they back up to like under the timer spacing, you're better off drive rushing into something, maybe into a back throw or a tick throw, or just a button that gives you plus frames, or even just walking forward and poking with a normal, because he's giving you screen space back. You have more room to walk because he backed up. But if he's backing up, you want to take your screen space. You don't want to jump because you're going to get anti-aired. And that's what happens. He's hanging out almost full screen because he's afraid to approach you. You want to walk forward and take that space, not hang back and do fireballs. Got him. Nice. That was a lot better. You tested with the fireball. He's shown you he likes to parry on defense. Then you dash in and try to get into a better spacing for yourself. Then what do? Then you jump. You were at the perfect spacing. You don't have to jump. Poke with your normals. Poke with your normals. And then you start walking yourself back to the corner, realize you're doing that, and jump again. And there you actually landed the jump in, but you again didn't hit confirm it into any kind of combo. you just went for a throw, which is okay here, actually, because he's shown you he likes to parry. So going for the throw there is actually pretty good.
Prepare yourself.
Good combo. You put him in the corner. You went for that on his wake up again. Meeting him is a good idea, but you've already shown that you don't know how to hit confirm that button into a knockdown. And in addition, it's not cancelable. So anytime you have them in the corner, you want to primarily pressure with buttons that are special cancelable so that if they drive impact, you can cancel and drive impact back. By choosing a pressure button here that isn't cancelable, you left yourself open to the DI.
Not so fast.
He dropped his combo. And you got your cash out, which is really, really good. So main things, just to summarize, that stood out to me here. Don't jump when you get into your good spacing. Be willing to stay there, poke, and see what they do. Don't walk yourself to the corner because you want a fireball. If they start walking away from you in the corner, walk forward, don't jump. And make sure that you have combos that A, don't necessarily require spending drive meter, B, actually knock down your opponent, and C, are confirmable off of a meaty button. Pick a button to hit him with on his wake up, where if you see that it hits, you can continue into an unbroken combo instead of having to guess again if you want to keep hitting him. Here we have versus Honda, so that's going to be kind of interesting because Honda's kind of a weird character. I'm gonna watch this in full before I comment and drink some of my Gatorade.
Step into the ring.
I'm not gonna lose.
Round one. Fight.
Keep walking.
Get a load of this! No escape! Gotcha!
Now you understand.
Round two. Fight!
Okay, I want to go back through round one before I even go to round two.
Round one. Fight!
This Fireball is a much weaker tool in the Honda matchup because you're not playing Fireball Wars. And Chun's Fireball is slow. So if he just goes for Butt Slam, you get hit. I would not really be using Fireball in this matchup nearly as much because it's just super risky. And there are very few things he's going to do that would be interrupted by the Fireball. I think if he does Headbutt at the right time, he might even Headbutt you out of the Fireball startup. So just don't Fireball in this matchup. It's better versus Shotos. You see how you got hit out of the Fireball startup by the Headbutt already? You walked yourself into the corner, you panicked, you tried to jump out. Throw was good. If you're that close to the corner, should have been a back throw. Alright, you block something big, what do you do? Alright, it's now coming more to my attention. I haven't seen a lot of modern Chuns, and I wasn't looking at the inputs, so I wasn't sure how many of your combos were manual. You're relying on your auto combos a lot. And I think that's one of the reasons why you're spending too much meter in your combos. And one of the reasons why you don't seem to know your combo routes manually off of certain starters. So I would work on learning a couple of B&B combos that aren't so reliant on the auto combo. Because right there, like, you had the opportunity to punish something really big. Honda OD Headbutt is about the most negative thing he can do on block besides a super. and you punished with a light auto combo. You definitely could have punished with a heavy. And you probably want to have a big cash out combo on deck, like the one I showed you with Ken, that spends some resources to get as much damage and corner carry as possible. Because you did the lightest possible auto combo here. You could have gotten so much more. Again, the fireball's not getting you anything. Keep walking back into the corner and then trying to jump out. Got lucky with the throw again. And here begins the main theme of round one, which is he can jump and butt slam completely for free because you do not anti-air. Anti-airing, as simple as it sounds, is one of the most important things you can do in any match of Street Fighter 6. And it never stops being something you have to focus on to some degree. I'm working on my anti-airs with Marissa right now, and I've hit 1700s MR more than once. But you need to be reacting to jumps with something, even if it's just a normal for now and not a DP, although you really should be able to DP because you're on modern. You have got to be reacting to them taking to the air with something, because he just jumps at you repeatedly here. 1, 2. You gotta punish. You're getting lucky a lot with the flow of the auto combo having a low in the middle to kind of catch them, but you really want to be poking more intentionally with your buttons that aren't auto combos. If you were doing manual combos, I can basically guarantee that you would have been able to kill him there off an extension, but you don't know how to convert from your auto combos into your supers. I don't even know if your auto combos can convert into your supers. And there was definitely a route there that could have converted into level 1 and killed him. Jump. And there, you see you're in burnout because every single time you did a combo, you spent 2 bars. So that's what I'm talking about with the resource management, putting you in a bad position. Even though you had the advantage, now you've put yourself in a bad position with resources from overspending on offense. He goes for the DI, you jump out, you didn't do your punish in time, it happens. There you anti-aired him and it killed him. That was really good. So the main thing sticking out to me here again are that you don't want to stand close enough for your normals to hit him. You're over-relying on fireball, you're over-relying on jumps, and you need to know how to route your combos into your supers and how to route combos that don't spend so much meter. I know I'm repeating myself a lot. I just want to make sure I keep things organized in thought process here. OD Lightning Legs is safe on block, but probably not a good spend, and the reason you spent it again is because it's part of an auto combo. Find things that are safe for you to do on block that don't spend resources like that. And the regular Lightning Legs, I noticed in the first round, is actually like -8 on block, which is punishable with a crouch medium kick from like any of the Shotos, so you really don't want to be doing that on block. I suggested earlier that you could just be doing that on block, but looking at the frame data, nah, you really want to be doing pokes, not lightning legs all the time. It's kind of cool how that beats the DI. You again had a huge punish opportunity and just panicked. Punish that with a heavy. If you're in burnout, you're not quite as plus, so maybe with a medium, but punish it, don't just jump. You're just fireballing at random and got punished for it. I could actually get behind him spending this here because he needs to even up the life. This keeps you in burnout longer and it allows him to get his bar back. I think you got lucky there, but that was really cool. You see how that's -8? That is really punishable if he knew what he was doing. Do not do that on block. Okay, so you do know how to convert your light auto combo into level 2 super, which is good, but again, you're spending bar in the combo. I haven't seen you do a single combo that doesn't spend 2 bars of drive. And you spent even more in the air there. You did not need to do OD legs to finish that combo at all. And you're still meeting with a button that you can't confirm into combo, and then immediately going for a crouch heavy that's extremely punishable on block. You're mostly getting lucky here that people are not blocking low. But if people were blocking low, the decisions you were making are all decisions you could be killed for. You're not anti-airing that either. You don't have bar here, so you can't perfect parry it, but you can definitely jump up and hit him out of the air, or probably delay DP it. If not the DP, you can definitely jump up and hit him out of the air. You did a panic super there. I have no idea why he got hit. You got lucky, I guess. But, is that it? Was that the whole game? Because you won the round? That was the whole game. Okay. So, things to focus on. Make sure that the button you're meeting with confirms into a knockdown and you can reliably do it in the lab. Learn some combos that don't spend OD drive meter and that don't require you to primarily auto combo. If they're near the corner, back throw them. Don't do lightning legs on block all the time because it's really punishable. And make sure you have a big punish as well for when you block something big. You don't have to jump at them all the time. You really don't. Like, you walk into the right spacing, you have good instincts, and then you panic. Take a deep breath. Don't panic. Just stay in that space where you can poke at the very edges of your normals and start poking with your normals instead of poking with an auto combo that's punishable on block. And I think that's all I got for this one. Thanks for sending me your replays. I'm really glad I get to help you out. I really appreciate you supporting the channel, and have a great rest of your day.